Spellshot 62 here. I'm back. Sorry, it's been a little bit, a little under a week, I think. Um, I just, I have been a little bit sick, actually. I'm coming down from that right now. So, sorry if my voice sounds a little bit dry. But, yeah, I'm ready to get back into, it's a switch chat there. Yeah, I'm gonna go dive into my Hoenn Pokemon tier list, and then I've got a little special something at the end for all of you once I'm done here. So without further delay, let's just get right into it. Let's do it. So we're gonna start off here. We've got the starter Pokemon lines. Oh, I forgot to fix the categories again. Sorry, it's been a while, guys. It's been a while. So it's excellent, great, and then decent, and then mid, and then bad. And as I was saying, with the 9 starter Pokemon designs, I think probably 6 of them are good enough to go into the excellent tier, just as they are. And then the other 3 are a bit more questionable. They definitely I don't think they belong up there, but let's just dive right into it. So for the Trico line, I think it goes something like this in that order. I like Grovyle the most, personally. Something about Sceptile's head just doesn't look as cool as like the leaf hair thing that goes down the back of Grovyle's to me. And also Mystery Dungeon has helped boost my opinion on Grovyle as well. So Grovyle will be going at the top of excellent. Although the rest of its line will be following it there. I think Sceptile still has a very nice design. I think the tree of the back looks cool. It's got a decent variety of colors, but still overwhelmingly green, which I like. And then Trico is a pretty strong starting design, in my opinion. I might bump Trico down to great, but personally, I think for now, I'll say he belongs in excellent. The Blaziken line, it is definitely in this order. Blaziken, I think, is excellent. There's a few times where I look at it and something feels a little bit weird, like I'm sure you all know. The one body part of Blaziken that sometimes just stands out in an uncomfortable way. But if you take it as a whole, I think it's a really strong design. Torchic, I figured out that I was going to put in decent, but I think when I thought about it, uh, I like it somewhat more than Pichu, which I had at the top of mid last time. So I think Torchic probably deserves to be put in decent. And Combusken is just bad. I don't even know what design they were trying to go for here. It doesn't look anything like either Torchic or Blaziken. So I just don't know why this was a thing. And then for the Mudkip line, I'm not sure whether to put Swampert over or under Mudkip. We'll leave him under for now. And I think it goes in some sort of order like this. I like the Swampert line the best overall. Um, and Mudkip is a very adorable first stage starter. Perfect design for a starter, basically. For a first stage starter. And Swampert's really solid, really strong. I like everything that I see going on here. And then Marshtomp is kind of mid. Might even drop down to bad later. I'm just not really a big fan of it, personally. It's just a little bit too goofy, and it has middle stage uh, syndrome where it just gets really awkward. Not a big fan. Poochyena and Mightyena. I personally like these Pokemon a fair bit. Sorry. Um, I think that I put Poochyena probably around the great area. And then Mightyena, maybe towards the top of decent by the time this list is over. I'm not fully sure about that. Mightyena might get bumped up, Poochyena might get bumped down, but I think it's a good spot for them for the moment. Um, Zigzagoon and Linoon. Zigzagoon I like quite a bit actually. I think I'll put it somewhere right there. It's pretty solid design. Uh, I think I called it, yeah, it's solid, not decent. Such a big change, I know, but I like the little ruffles it's got going on with its fur. It's got the obviously different layers, and it's all pointy. And I think it's a pretty unique standout design. On the other hand, Linoon is pretty forgettable to me. Really, I don't ever think about it on its own, except in the context of like Norman. And even then, it's like the last of Norman's Pokemon that I even remember. So, yeah, nothing really special. Alright, we come to the first split evolution of Hoenn. I don't remember if there are any more, actually. There might be. So we'll just have to surprise ourselves later. Wurmple, I guess, should be placed first. It's pretty alright. It's a worm Pokemon. We'll go to Cascoon and Silcoon next. I like Silcoon a little bit more, I think. But at the end of the day, they're both just balls of whatever they are with some spikes. So I don't even really care enough to say that it matters. I could put it like that or like that. Doesn't really matter. Beautifly and Dustox. I will say that Beautifly's design is pretty good. Am I gonna put it in great? Yeah, I think so. It's got a really nice, colorful design. I like the eyes, the striking blue there, and the wings of black and yellow with some red and blue accents. It just looks really nice here. Um, it's a really good regional bug. Um, then with Dustox, sorry, just one second. All right, getting back to it. Dustox. Um, Dustox I like less personally. Um, I'll probably put it somewhere down here below Mightyena. Uh, yeah, it's an alright design, but nothing really particularly special. Lotad I actually like a lot. I think Lotad has a really good design. It's really cute. Um, and it's pretty underrated as far as I'm gonna move Trico down just to the top of the rate. Yeah, Lotad has a really good first stage design. The other two are not as great. Ludicolo is kind of just there for me most of the time, and Lombre is kind of ugly. Not gonna lie. I think that's probably where I put them. Pretty drastic leaps between the different forms, but hey, what are you gonna do? C-Dot I also think is pretty cute. I like C-Dot a fair bit. I don't even know why. it's just it's just kind of got a little cute design going on there. Uh, and then Nuzleaf and Shiftry are always kind of weird to me. Like there's some parts of them which I think are cool, but then others make them look really dorky. Go ahead and put Shiftry like here, I think, and Nuzleaf can go down like here. Tailo and Swallow. Tailo is just like a generic bird. It's whatever. Swallow's a bit better, but not that much. Personally, still have it as a pretty mid design overall. It is cool that it gets like guts and stuff, but that's not what I'm ranking this off of. So, Wingull has a pretty decent design. We'll put it like there. It's just you see a lot of it, and so it kind of gets forced in your face a lot anytime you play Hoenn, especially towards the later half. Pelipper is not that good in my opinion. Probably goes to the bottom of mid for me. It's just like, eh. Both Ralts and Curlier are kind of whatever as well. I think somewhere like there is fine for both of them. Gardevoir, though, is obviously a very strong design. Unfortunately, that design has been ruined by the internet, but without that, I think it probably would go in excellent. It is a really good design, and I like when it gets the fairy type later. I think that really suits it. Plus, Gallade's really cool, but that's for the next tier list. Um, Surskit and Masquerain. I actually kind of want to use these Pokemon at some point. Um, sorry. Um, I might have to back up a bit. A couple times during this. Just mute real quick and get back into it. But for now, we can keep going. But yeah, Masquerain seems interesting. It's kind of like an I guess more of an underrated Pokemon in terms of design, just because no one ever even wants to use it. Uh, but it's still not that great, so I'll put it like there. Shroomish and Breloom. I don't remember if I used them when I played them for the first time, which wasn't even that long ago. Um, but I never used them when I played like a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Um, I think it's a really good design though. Shroomish is like fine. Uh, I think you have it for way too long. Breloom is really good though. Mm, yeah, I think that's where I'd put it. Um, Slackoth is okay. I mean, nothing really stand out about it. Um, Vigoroth is pretty cool. I'll put it somewhere in the bottom of solid. Um, there's not really much I have to say about it. It's just sort of what it is. Slacking is very much of two worlds for me because I really like the concept of having a really strong Pokemon that's nerfed by its ability. And it was the first one to do that, but at the same time, it's a really ugly design. I think for me, it averages out to somewhere like down here. I don't really, I don't really like it all that much. I think there are Pokemon I like which are way cooler, which do this sort of thing. It's cool that this was the first one to do that, but uh, the design is just a bit too ugly for me to particularly enjoy its presence. Um, Ninkata, Ninjask, and Shedinja. Ninkata is kind of whatever, but Ninjask has a pretty cool design. I think I'll put it somewhere up in Great. Maybe somewhere like there. And then Shedinja has a really solid design, and Wonder Guard is really fascinating. Um, yeah, somewhere like there. I think Wonder Guard's really cool, and it really amplifies the design of like the hollowed out carcass ghost kind of thing. Whismur, Loudred, and Exploud. Whismur is just kind of down here. So Exploud is a bit higher, probably. Loudred gets the uh, Mystery Dungeons uh, boost, but ultimately doesn't really help with that much overall. I think the Pokedex is a bit too solid for it to be that much of a standout here. 'Cause I really like the Hoenn Pokedex despite how big mid is now. I'm sure it'll be more balanced later. Makuhita and Hariyama. Makuhita is a pretty interesting design, if nothing else, for a first form Pokemon. And then Hariyama gets pretty cool. Probably like there. Azurill, again, Mystery Dungeon is about the only reason I even care about it at all. You can go like there. Nosepass is kind of weird. I think I like it more than Probopass though. Not that matters for this ranking. It's just kind of there for now. Skitty and Delcatty. Skitty is cute. Probably somewhere up like here, I think. Delcatty is one of the most forgettable Pokemon, probably of all time to me. Um, I just never really remember that it exists. I barely remember that Skitty exists, and it's a much more memorable design to me. Um, Sableye is pretty interesting. I think the first Pokemon to have no weaknesses, excluding like glitches and stuff. Um, I like it's kind of like a little gremlin thing. You can go somewhere like up there. Mawile never really stood out to me. It can stay somewhere down in this area. Aron, Laron, and Aggron. Aggron, let's just cut to the chase. Aggron is really cool. He's very powerful looking and intimidating. Um, Maybe even like up here, honestly. Wish I used it more, and I wish it was better than it is. It just doesn't do well enough in Hoenn specifically. Um, Laron's pretty solid. I think the fact that it almost looks like it has a beard down here, which is kind of off-putting, but still a really solid design. I'll put it like there, and then Aeron's pretty cute. Yeah, I think that works. Meditite and Medicham. I think I've always liked Meditite better than most people because one of the first episodes of the anime that I watched was Ash's fight with Maylene, and it took out like two of Ash's Pokemon with its Detect and Meditate and Confusion strategy. Or I don't know if it was Confusion specifically, but yeah. Um, yeah, its design is pretty weird. Uh, I think I like it somewhere uh, up here. I'll say. And Medicham I like better as a design, but again, the anime boost kind of makes me place Meditite almost on par with it, which it really shouldn't be. Um, Electrike and Manectric. Electrike is really solid. I'd put it somewhere up there in terms of design. And then Manectric, I'll put it at the top of great. It should probably be an excellent, but the weird pointy head thing, it just looks a little bit too awkward for me. Um, Personally, whenever I see it, I'm always just reminded of it because it takes up so much of the Pokemon, and it just looks really awkward. Um, I like mine in more the Plusle. I think the soft blue works a little bit better. But they're both just kind of alright. I like Illumise more than Volbeat, but there shouldn't be two of them in the first place, so who really cares? No, they're more like down here. Roselia, you're not really interesting to me until we get Rose Raid. So for now, you can just chill down here. I'm putting Swallow too low. Gulpin and Swallow. Gulpin reminds me of Smash Bros. Um, Otherwise, they're both just okay. Maybe something like that. Carvana and Sharpedo. Carvana is a pretty strong first stage design. Maybe somewhere like up here, and Sharpedo is really a great design, or maybe even excellent design. No, I'll put it great. It's not quite as good as a lot of these Pokemon. I'm sure quite a few other Pokemon which I'll place up there. Looking through this, there's already a lot of strong contenders that I'm seeing. But we'll get to that in a minute. Wailmer and Wailord. Wailmer is kind of alright. It's kind of cute. It never really stood out that much to me. I like Wailord though. Yeah, I think that works. Numel and Camerupt. Numel just looks a bit too weird for me. It's really it feels like they made it look like dumb or something, and it seemed like they did that for like no reason. Like I like when Pokemon are a little bit on the sillier and goofier side. I don't really know. I just don't really get Numel, I guess. I think Camerupt is a pretty great design. We'll put him somewhere like up there. Yeah, there we go. Torkoal, oh, oops. Torkoal, whenever I think of Torkoal now, I think of the scene from the anime where he jumps into the water to get something for Ash. um, Otherwise, Torkoal is probably somewhere like up there for me. He's a good design, solid enough. Just doesn't stand out to me. Spoink and Grumpig. I think Spoink is cute. And you see him a lot with Mystery Dungeon, or you see him a fair bit, at least for the first mission, or one of the first missions in Time, Darkness, and Sky. Grumpig is forgettable for me. Spinda is also forgettable. It's the sheer number of designs that you can get it with it though are kind of interesting. The fact that there's basically a 0% chance that two people have the same Spinda, the same random Spinda. Because of just how many different designs there are, is actually like crazy. Trapinch, Vibrava, and Flygon. Yeah, I don't need to. I don't need to convince anyone that Flygon is a good design. Everyone just sort of agrees pretty much. Trapinch is cute. Oh, that's Vibrava. Trapinch is cute. And Vibrava is kind of forgettable, to be honest. The only reason I remember Trapinch so well is because it somehow turns into this. And definitely, the fact that this jumps to this while through Vibrava is very memorable. Cacnea and Cacturn. Cacnea is pretty solid and cute. I'll put it somewhere up there. Now we're getting at the point where, aside from the very tops and the very bottoms, there's not a lot of like. I sort of just throw them into a place and just see where they go, pretty much. Cacturn, my friend really likes Cacturn. I was gonna do this tier list with them, but I was gonna do this tier list while they watched. but they couldn't be here, so they can't be here to defend their boy. It does have a solid design, and I wish it was better, but yeah. Swablu and Altaria. Swablu is pretty alright. Altaria is really good though. I think Altaria is a really strong design. Zangoose and Survivor. I definitely remember Survivor more, and that's definitely because of the anime. Um, maybe like somewhere down there. Zangoose can go lower, the same tier. They're both good designs. Robert should be lower. Solrock and Lunatone. I feel like I like Lunatone more, but really they're both pretty mid. I like what they represent, but they are not that interesting. Barboach is a noodly boy, and I can appreciate that. And I like Wishcash, so. Or Whiskash, not Wishcash. You know what? There. You can go excellent. Corefish is kind of cute, but otherwise, nothing stand out. Crawdont is kind of cool, but less so than Corefish is cute. Baltoy is very forgettable. Claydol is also kind of forgettable. Sure. Laleep and Cradilly. Both kind of whatever. Cradilly, yeah, I'll put in solid. My friend really likes Cradilly too. They'd be devastated at this placement, but it's just sort of eh. I think Anorith is really cute, actually. Look at those big eyes. And it has an interesting design. And Armaldo gets bonus points just for being being up there. I think if you separated this from Anorth, I wouldn't like it that much. But because it evolves from Anorth, I kind of like it a bit more. Yeah. Feebas is meh. Milotic, though, is excellent. I think that's good. Castform is a cool idea. Kind of cute design. The balls that are supposed to be oxygen molecules, though, or yeah, those are oxygen molecules. I just blanked on that chemistry aspect, but they're just kind of weird for obvious reasons. Kecleon's cool. I like its gimmick. It has a pretty nice design on top of that. Put it at the bottom of grade, I think. So, alright, I'm back. Let's go ahead and throw Shuppets up in kind of meh. It's alright. Banette, though, was pretty cool. Maybe like there, somewhere like that. Duskull is better across the board, though. I like Duskull. I'd say it's a great design, personally. I'm gonna throw that up there. And then Dusclops is pretty solid. I want to use it. Tropius. This is... I don't know if this is exactly a hot take, but I really like his design. Overall, I so wish to everything at Pokemon that he was stronger, because I want to be able to use him without just severely handicapping myself. The typing's just too bad. The stats aren't good enough to make up for it. It doesn't get a good move pool. There's nothing going for it, but its design is so cool. Trimecha is kind of mid. Only reason I think about it ever is because of Mystery Dungeon. Absol is a really strong design, probably even excellent. Uh, yeah, I'd say so. Uh, yeah, somewhere like there. I think it's really cool. I just wish that Dark was physical in Gen 3 so it'd be more viable. Why Not is kind of cute and has a funny name, so therefore you can go like up here somewhere. Snowrunt is pretty cute, but otherwise forgettable. Glalie is alright. It's just I never really stood out to me like it did with a lot of people. Spheal is adorable. It is one of the cutest Pokemon ever. Um, Geez, how far am I willing to put this thing? Realistically, probably like there. There, yeah. Um, Sphelio or Celio? I don't even remember its name. It's kind of forgettable. Walrein is also excellent though. Probably like lower on the lower end though compared to like Spheal. Yeah. Clamperl, forgettable. Not really even that cute. Uh, yeah. Huntail's also pretty forgettable, but a bit cooler. Maybe something like that. Gorbis, I like more than either of them. Still not that much. That line is just kind of weird, man. I never really think about it that much. Um, Relicanth. Well, it's apparently the perfect Pokemon. Beyond that, I don't really know. I don't really have any feelings about it though. It's alright, I guess. Love Disc, you should have evolved into a little Momola, but that's not what we're here to discuss. And so far, you're pretty much just there. Bagon, Shelgon, and Salamence. I think Bagon and Shelgon are pretty average. By average, I mean like I don't have any pros or cons about against them, so they go in mid. Because Solid is generally leaning good, and mid is more for the whatever Pokemon. Salamence is. Oh, come back here, Salamence. You stupid dragon. Uh, I say I'm about to place it in excellent tier. It's not going there. I'm just touching my hand. Uh, Probably somewhere like there. I really like Salamence. I think a lot of people tend to favor Metagross, uh, but I prefer Salamence personally, which is a bit of a spoiler, but here we are. Beldum and Metang are also kind of meh for pseudo legendary designs, but Metagross itself will also be going in excellent though. So people don't get on me for saying that I like Salamence more. Metagross is still going pretty high. All right, I think I think that's a good spot for it. It's still a really strong Pokemon. It's just it's just not as good as Salamence in my personal opinion. Regirock, Regice, and Registeel. And yes, it is Regice. You can fight me on that. Registeel's got a decently solid design. Uh, Regirock or Regice? I don't know which one I prefer yet, so we'll think about it. Regice can go maybe like there. And Regirock can go maybe like there. None of them are particularly great, but that's generally the order I'd say. I might switch Regirock and Regice, but Registeel is definitely the weakest for me. Latios and Latios. I like Latios more. I put Latios as an excellent design, personally. Um, We can put it like there. Latias is probably at the bottom of excellent for me. I still like it. It's just I like the cooler design and the blue aspects of Latios more than the red and cuteness of Latios. Kyogre and Groudon. I like Kyogre more. I was always more of a Sapphire guy than Ruby. Um, Kyogre is definitely going in excellent. Just a matter of how high. Um, yeah, I think somewhere like there is good. But Groudon will not be going too far below because Groudon's also really cool. I think something like that works. Rayquaza is definitely up there. I think it's generally a little overrated, but I'll still say it's my favorite of the region. And Jirachi is really strong. I put it in great somewhere. Uh, I think that works. And then Deoxys is a really cool idea. Design doesn't work so much for me though, but I'll still put it like up there. And there you go. There's the Johto tier list. And now, or Johto, there's the Hoenn tier list. And now you're probably wondering what the surprise is. And I guess there's no reason to hold off on it, so we'll switch on over. Da da da. Yep, just had to make sure that would go through. All right. So to talk about this a little bit before we go, I want to start playing Pokemon for the channel at some point. I might wait until after I finish Lord of the Rings Two Towers first, or I might wait till I finish Hi-Fi Rush. But I kind of want those Lord of the Rings series and the indie game series to be an ongoing thing. So I might just do Pokemon starting soon. Um, just to like have it up and going, especially since it seems to be doing well on the channel. The Johto tier list got over 100 views, which I could not be more thankful for. I really appreciate it. I did not expect it to do as well as it did, especially since it was a little bit slow taking off, but that's neither here nor there. So what this is I'm going to be playing Platinum, is my idea. And I threw on a variety of different challenges on a wheel that I thought of. I have another one on the side here that I haven't done anything with because I might have to switch over to that depending on what aspects I end up rolling. I'm going with Platinum because it was my first game ever and my favorite Pokemon game. So it's very familiar to me, and I might be able to focus a little bit more on talking to you guys than having to try to figure things out. Um, and it's also just going to be the most fun for me, probably. So we'll just go down the list. I have the Nuzlocke, which is, your standard Nuzlocke with general hardcore rules, which are basically the default rules at this point. Set mode, no items in battle, things like that. Randomizer Nuzlocke, also pretty self-explanatory. I'm not sure how much of the randomizer I'm going to use. If I go into, if I do dive into that, because I might just do like random encounters, but I might do random trainer Pokemon as well. Might do like random abilities. I'm not gonna go as far as like random moves or random types or anything like that. But I'm not sure exactly how far I am gonna go. Random elements. This will be not a Nuzlocke for this one. I will have to make a new wheel if I do this, but basically this will be where I'll change some aspects of it. Like I was thinking I might do random trainer Pokemon, but my Pokemon are completely normal. I was thinking maybe I'll randomize or shuffle Pokemon stats, or randomize their typing, or randomize their moveset, or some combination of those things. Um, which I might just if I do a wheel for that one, I might save that for later because I might want to see if if I get any feedback on that one if I roll it. But yeah. Then there's the one and done. I had this idea to do with someone else, but that was before I started getting back on YouTube, so I brought it over here. Basically, every Pokemon, and maybe even every Pokemon line, can only be used for one major battle, and then it's done. So if I use Turtwig or Piplup for Rourke, then I can't use Piplup or Turtwig for the rest of the run. Um, and I might even limit myself. It's like if I use Piplup for Rourke, I can't use Prinplup or Empoleon for any other fight. Like once a Pokemon is used in a major fight, it and its whole line might just be done. I'm not exactly sure how far I want to go into that. It depends on how many Pokemon are available in Platinum, and how many Pokemon lines are available in Platinum, and how many fights I'd consider to be quote unquote major fights. Because I definitely say that like the Cyrus fights are major fights. Um, the Elite Four will count as one major fight, so I don't have to switch teams between that, which I'd have to do with some other program. And then yeah, I'm not sure what else I would consider a major fight. Maybe the admin fights, like with Mars and Jupiter and Saturn, but I'm not sure yet. That'll be something I'll think about and figure and decide what I want. Decide what I think is the best balance for a playthrough to make it enjoyable still, while also being challenging. The type lock is pretty self-explanatory. I'll spin a random type on the wheel. This one I will go over to the other wheel for, and then I'll put all 17 types up, excluding fairy, and spin it and see what I get. And I have to go through the game with only Pokemon of that type. I might have to change the starter depending on what I roll. And something like Ice is just going to be brutal because you don't even get any Pokemon up until you're going to the 7th gym. So I'll definitely need to give myself a starter at least. If it's as bad as Ice, I might have to like litter a couple Pokemon in the PC already, just to get at random points. Um, and then least used Pokemon. So I'm gonna try to figure out which Sinnoh-based Pokemon, which Gen 4 Pokemon are not used that much, and I'm going to use them. I have a Reddit post from a few years ago, which sort of polled a bunch of people, about 7,000 I think, and they used those results to figure out like what generally the least used Pokemon for all the regions were. So like that's a good place to start. I'm not sure if it has enough for a full team, but yeah, I just want to use some Pokemon which are less used, whether because they're not as respected by a lot of people design wise, or because they're weaker, or because by the time you get them, they already have better options. So yeah, let's go ahead and now that I've got all that explained, let's shuffle up and spin, and let's see what we're getting for my first Platinum Nuzlocke, my first Platinum run on the channel. Randomizer Nuzlocke. Okay. So this is where I'm going to have to call it, because, like I said, I don't have all the details for the Randomizer Nuzlocke idea decided yet. But I look forward to doing a Randomizer Nuzlocke of some kind in Sinnoh, in Platinum, soon. Again, I don't know when. I definitely owe the Hi-Fi Rush people and the Two Towers people some sort of video soon, because I've been away for so long. But once that all gets sorted out, I'll look into setting up the Randomizer Nuzlocke. I might even talk to my friends about what they think about how far I should go. And if I get any comments from you guys, that'll be even better. So, that's all for me. Thank you everybody so much for watching. And I will hope to see you all in a stream tomorrow, depending on if time allows me. See ya.